Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. It is officially bowl season. Somebody's honking in the background. Liberty and Coastal. We've got a promo code. The code is HOLIDAY for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The rematch that should have, I guess they were supposed to play earlier in the year. It didn't happen because of COVID concern, but now we have Liberty and Coastal. Coastal is -7. The total is 59.5. Liberty enters 9-1 on the year, 8-2 against the number, and number 12, Coastal Carolina, is 11-0, 8-2-1 against the number in the Cure Bowl held in Orlando. Sean Higgs, what do you got for us when it comes to Liberty and Coastal?
Yeah, a couple of old Big South buddies get together, and good way to start out a Saturday. I mean, what do we got combined with 20-1 these guys? So yeah, what I'm gonna tell you, I was liking the points. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take Liberty here in the points. I was looking at who they beat. Virginia Tech, Syracuse. They lost 15-14 NC State. I'm like, not too bad. It's not like they played just a bunch of guys. You're like, well, it's an easy schedule. But then you got, stands out to me was the BYU game. BYU, we saw them, as we do the show, we saw them last night really roll, and Coastal held these guys at just 17 points. And I'm like, maybe that's the difference maker here. Maybe the defense is a difference maker, and we'll cover the 7 here. But more than that, yeah, okay, so they really dominated a BYU team, but I got to throw a little bit of that out on the short week. I just think in this spot, Coastal, I think they got to feel a little disrespected. They're 11-0. They couldn't leapfrog teams with multiple losses, even though they beat, who'd they beat? Louisiana, who had beaten Iowa State, who's got 3 losses and somehow lands on New Year's Day. So I really think the team's going to come out, play good, and on both sides, both coaches signed extensions because they were talking about Hugh Freeze going back to Auburn and maybe taking his quarterback with him. But that's not a weight over these two teams. But what is, and again, this is going to be my final kind of thing. I kind of like the 7 here, and I think it's going to go up based on, I'm seeing like the reports that Liberty's got a little COVID outbreak, including their quarterback. So if he's not going to go and you get a backup in there, I think that changes really the whole complexion of the game. Coastal could really kind of pour it on here. But even if Wilkes plays, I don't know. I think Coastal, you can't just, I'm taking Coastal here. I mean, I wanted Liberty. I can't. Some's pulling me to Coastal. I think this line's going to tick up, especially if you text positive on a Wednesday morning for a Saturday game. I don't know that's how you get to play. I mean, has that even happened? The world's shut down because somebody might test positive. So, I mean, how's this guy going to go and play football? 60 guys on a Saturday tested positive today. So,
yeah, for sure. And that's something really to monitor when it comes to these bowl games and any sport in general. Make sure and just do a quick search, maybe the day before the game, because it seems like even just hours before games, we're seeing guys held out because of COVID, because of injuries. So it's definitely a fluid market and something that you need to keep your eye on. Any other leanings when it comes to a total on this, or any other things you think bettors should know?
Total-wise, the quarterback plays, yeah, maybe we'll see a wild game, a nice shootout. But if he doesn't play, you don't know what you're getting. And a tidbit of what to look for, like, I actually just found this out because I was going through looking up the schools and trying to get local. I found a local reporter on actually Twitter for the school that I found that article because I didn't see that anywhere else about him testing positive. It was in the local paper, and Hugh Freeze like, yeah, we got a little issue here with some of the players with COVID. Like, how isn't that? You'd think that would be picked up somewhere, or someone would get that information out. The first thing I did before I came on the show, I looked at the line. It says it moves at 7. I'm like, you know what? I'll get jumped down on Carolina here. Minus a 7 because I think this game's going to move if that's the case.
And especially, I think Hugh Freeze, he's the guy that coached a football game from a hotel, or not a hotel, a hospital bed. So maybe it's not a big deal to him, but it is a big deal when you're talking about covering a spread and also betting on a total. But that's going to do it for our college football talk here on Picks and Parlays. Always great insight from Sean Higgs. Sean, thanks for joining us.